Have you ever had your heart broken so badly that it felt like the ground disappeared from under your feet? That kind of heartbreak where you wake up in the morning, and for a few seconds, everything feels normal, until you remember what happened, and suddenly the weight of it hits you all over again. It's like reliving the pain on repeat. If you've ever been there, you know how heavy it feels. And right now, Paris Jackson is in that very place. She's devastated. Her engagement to Justin Long, the man she thought she'd spend her future with, has ended. And the truth is, she's in bad shape emotionally. You'd think that with her being Michael Jackson's daughter, life would be full of glamour and happiness. But sometimes, no matter who you are or what family you come from, pain finds you. And it found Paris in the middle of what she thought was her happily ever after. But here's something that makes this story even more surprising. Instead of pulling away from everyone, instead of shutting down like so many people do when they're hurt, Paris turned to someone she trusts deeply. And that person isn't her best friend, or her mom, or even a sibling. It's her aunt, LaToya Jackson. At 69 years old, LaToya has seen more than her share of ups and downs. She's lived through heartbreak, public scrutiny, and family struggles. And now she's the one standing by Paris, helping her find a little strength while she tries to piece herself back together. Now, when we look at this situation, it's easy to think, well, this is just another Hollywood breakup, right? Another engagement that didn't work out. But that's not really the case here. For Paris, this was a deep emotional blow. She has already carried so much pain in her life. Think about it. Losing her father at such a young age, growing up in the spotlight with the entire world watching her every move, constantly trying to find her place while people judged her before she even had a chance to live her life. Add on top of that the struggle she's openly shared with her mental health, and it's clear, this breakup isn't just a small bump in the road. It feels like another heavy layer stacked on top of everything she's already endured. And that's where her aunt steps in. LaToya is someone who truly understands the pressure that comes with being a Jackson. She knows what it's like to live under constant attention, to have your personal life turned into headlines, to be judged for every little thing. And maybe that's why Paris feels safe turning to her. Because LaToya doesn't just give advice from the outside, she's lived it. She knows what that heartbreak feels like when the cameras won't stop flashing. She knows how painful it is when people speculate about your personal life as if it's just entertainment for them. And maybe, in some way, that makes LaToya the exact person Paris needs right now. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt completely shattered, and then someone stepped in to be your rock? Sometimes, it's not even the person you expect. It could be an aunt, a cousin, or even a friend you haven't spoken to in years. But suddenly, they become the person who holds you together when you're falling apart. That's what's happening here with Paris and LaToya. Paris could have chosen to isolate herself. She could have stayed in bed, avoided calls, and kept everything bottled up inside. And honestly, a lot of people do that. But instead, she's leaning into family. She's asking for help. And that's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit you're hurting. It takes even more courage to let someone else hold your hand through it. And here's something many people forget. When celebrities go through heartbreak, it doesn't hurt less just because they're famous. In fact, it often hurts more. Imagine going through a breakup, but instead of crying quietly at home, the whole world is watching you. People are speculating, gossiping, making jokes online. Every little moment becomes news. That kind of pressure makes healing 10 times harder. Experts often say that when someone is dealing with a major emotional loss, the most important thing isn't fame or money, it's support. It's having someone who sees the real you, not the headlines, not the image, but the person underneath. And for Paris, that's her aunt. Now, let's be honest for a second. Heartbreak is something almost all of us can relate to. It might not look the same as Paris's situation, but the feelings are universal. That pain in your chest, the endless what-ifs running through your mind, the sleepless nights replaying memories, it's something we've all experienced in one way or another. So when we see Paris leaning on LaToya, it's actually a reminder for all of us. A reminder that healing doesn't happen in isolation. Healing happens when you let people in. And maybe that's the lesson here. Whether you're a celebrity with the world watching or just someone going through heartbreak quietly, you need your people. It could be family, it could be friends, it could even be an online community of strangers who share similar struggles. But the point is, don't try to carry it all alone. Paris is showing us that. Even though she's hurting, she's not shutting everyone out. She's leaning into her aunt's love and wisdom, and that's helping her survive one of the hardest chapters of her life. And it makes you think, how often do we assume that strong people don't need help? Paris has always seemed strong. She's survived so much already. But even the strongest people sometimes need someone to lean on. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's human. Now, if we look a little deeper, there's something else here worth pointing out. LaToya isn't just supporting Paris out of duty. She's genuinely giving her time, her presence, and her guidance. And that kind of support isn't about having all the right answers. It's about showing up. Sometimes, when someone's heart is broken, they don't need a solution. They don't need someone to say, here's how you get over it. What they really need is someone who sits with them in the pain. Someone who says, I know it hurts, but you don't have to go through it alone. That's the role LaToya is playing right now. And honestly, it's the role any of us can play for someone we love. You don't have to be famous, you don't have to be a therapist, you don't have to know all the right words. Just showing up and being there can make all the difference. So here's something practical we can take away from Paris's story. When life breaks your heart, don't bottle it up. Don't convince yourself that you have to figure it all out alone. Reach out. Call that friend, text that sibling, or visit that family member who always seems to understand you. And if you don't have someone nearby, write your feelings down, join a support group, or even find a safe space online. The point is, connection heals. It may not erase the pain instantly, but it makes it bearable. Think about Paris again. She's dealing with heartbreak while the entire world watches. And still, she found the courage to lean into family. That's powerful. That's inspiring. It shows that no matter how famous you are, no matter how much attention is on you, you're still human. You still need love. You still need support. So the next time you're hurting, remember this moment. Remember that even someone like Paris Jackson, with all the fame in the world, still needs her aunt to hold her through the pain. And if she can lean on someone, so can you. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever been in that place where someone you didn't expect ended up being your lifeline? Maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a neighbor, maybe it was even a coworker who surprised you by showing kindness when you needed it most. Think about that for a second. That unexpected support, it's priceless, isn't it? And maybe, just maybe, this story about Paris and LaToya will inspire you to be that person for someone else. Maybe you know someone right now who's going through heartbreak, loss, or just a rough time. Maybe they haven't said anything, but you can see it in their eyes. What if you reached out? What if you became their safe place the way LaToya is for Paris? At the end of the day, this story isn't just about a broken engagement. It's about resilience. It's about family. It's about choosing connection over isolation. And it's about remembering that even in the darkest times, love still shows up. Sometimes from the places you least expect. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had someone step up for you in a way that completely changed how you handled heartbreak? I'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments and let's remind each other that none of us are really alone. And if this story touched you, if it reminded you of the power of family and love, I think you'll also enjoy my other video on how celebrities cope with heartbreak. It's eye-opening to see that even the most famous names deal with pain just like we do. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if this video gave you something to think about. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you never miss more stories like this, stories that remind us that behind the headlines, we're all just human beings trying to find our way. So take care of yourself, lean into your people, and remember, heartbreak doesn't define you. Healing does.